Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. This presentation is for the EN 11670 speech. I'm glad for you to join me, and I want to thank you for taking the time out to be here with me today. Thank you to Professor Jed and for the students of this class. Today, I'll be talking about pop culture and race, ethnicity, sexual morality, and gender. As we all know, this is a very pressing issue, especially in today's society. So it's important that we have this conversation. This presentation is going to talk about just the roles that we play in these particular groups. Race, gender equality, sexual morality, and ethnicity are groups that are most often stigmatized and categorized by others. The transparent optical lines through which we all see through that provides us the ability to see the undeniable truth about who we are as people have been often manipulated by the media. We know that media plays a very big role in today's society. The use of pop culture and media outlets have helped to influence most of our minds, and individual perceptions are at times to believe, or allows us to believe what or how society should be and how we should interact in society. The most powerful thrust of condensation at times forces conflicting beliefs and perceptions using various media outlets to covertly and overtly blind our ability to seek the inevitable truth. The fact is that many individuals are impacted by these influences around us that continuously try to separate and divide us into subgroups of people, whether it's based on our color of our skin, ethnic background, sexual preferences, or even our gender, and it's a troubling fact. I recently learned of a video by a well known social activist who took a stand for how pop culture and the media intertwine in ways to help to form our minds. And this well known activist that I'm speaking about, her name is Bell Hooks. She presented a video that uh, provided a very powerful speech for all of us to understand. There's no doubt that her stance was to educate our minds and to provide us the ability to learn about the truth and to just see the obvious in today's society. There's no doubt that there have been numerous controversies, chaos, and confusion for members of society when it comes to equality of various groups of people. In my opinion, everyone deserves to be treated equally and fairly despite any differences or beliefs. We're all human beings, and no one should be shunned because of who they are or where they're from. I think that that's just not right. So I agree with the Professor Bell Hooks position because the more we seek the truth and is not easily influenced by popular culture through the media, is the more knowledgeable we become as human beings and the more engaged we are and the more open we'll be and respectful to others who are different or in unique ways. Diversity and inclusion remain to be the most critical aspects in our lives because even though we are all different in much of the same way or much of different ways, many people continue to find it difficult to accept others for who they are. For example, I may decide to live my life as an atheist, and even though my decision to do so may not be favorable to others, and maybe in fact be insulting to the Christian community, however, I do believe that I have that right to be who I want to be. And it's important for everyone to feel that way, to be who they want to be, as long as it's not imposing or being disrespectful to others. So if I decided to live my life as such, I would like to be respected, and it's the same thing for others who decide to live their life how they want to live, as long as it's conducive to society. And also, Professor Belnux also stated a quote, and it reads, "Whether we're talking about race or gender or class, popular culture is where pedagogy, pedagogy is. It's where learning is." End quote. So essentially, she wants us to be aware of the knowledge that we have, to read about stuff, to learn about stuff, and not just take word for word from the media. This has been a strong statement to me that I believe as one should be motivated to seek the truth and knowledge about culture of people um, to which we share the world with. There are so many misconceptions and stereotypes when it comes to cultural differences, the way people live their lives. When talking about cultural differences, we're essentially referring to cultural diversity. Cultural diversity is important because our country, workplaces, and schools increasingly consist of various cultural, racial, and ethnic groups. And this was quoted by Purdue Global. End quote. Recent civil unrest took place a few months ago as it seemed to have attacked the multicultural community, whereas an issuance for a travel ban, and we all heard about this travel ban. It was a big thing on the media where the president issued a travel ban which primarily targeted those from Muslim countries such as Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, Libya, Iran, and Iraq. This was proposed by the US government to essentially block certain individuals from entering the United States due to allegedly potential terrorist attacks or threats to the country. Now, we all know that we are all for protecting the country and all for security for all citizens in the US. But in particular, this was also seen as unethical and just downright wrong because it was targeted towards a certain group of people. This ban pretty much sent shockwaves throughout the country and left many feeling disrespected, and furious. Many people saw this as unethical, as I mentioned, and even racially motivated. And, people started to find ways to counteract this proposal. And even the federal government or the federal judge um, did not accept this as a pleasing thing to do. Also, the BBC News, according to BBC News, this proposal or travel ban halted refugees significantly and banned Syrian refugees indefinitely. Many was left unknown or unsure of what their status is or if they'll be able to re-enter the country. So it was a big deal for the country, and that's why it's important for us to be aware of cultural differences and be accepting of everyone and not try to stigmatize or ostracize anyone because of their religion, their race, their ethnicity, their sexual preferences, or anything like that. It's just not right. It's okay if you just don't understand, but seeking the truth is the most important thing. So that's why I stand with Professor Bell Hooks on just being knowledgeable and seeking the truth and being understanding of different kinds of people or types of people. The media. The media plays a huge role in how often um, they promote images of inequality through exclusion and differences when dealing with racial, ethnicity, and even gender differences. Although the media often provides news on a regular basis to help keep us informed about what is going on in society, they can also play a role in how much information is shared and what type of information is shared to the public and to the American people. At times, data may be skewed or information may be skewed purposely to perpetuate, uh, just how people think and what type of information they are, able to receive. So again, it just goes back to our individual self to make sure that we are in the know and we're knowledgeable about certain information and not persuaded by the media and what they want us to know, how they want us to think and to react or interact into society. And obviously, as I mentioned, the media is a significant influence on the mind, thus can be a potent tool that can help to suppress one's mind. A good example of how media can ensure a possibility of using images to create a biased and stereotypical approach is when dealing with race or particularly the Black race and other minorities, is a recent case of George Zimmerman and now deceased Trayvon Martin. This was a highly publicized and racially charged and unfortunate event that took place between a young Black teenage boy whose life was pretty much cut short by the hands of a neighborhood watchman who was believed to be white, took the life of the aspiring youth who aspired to be a pilot and many more. And instead of the media highlighting um, his accomplishments and his aspiration, he was yet smeared to be this hoodie wearing thug who was just up to no good. Um, and this was not a good depiction of who he truly is. Obviously, no one is perfect, but why decide to show him as that mischievous thug versus this aspiring youth who had big dreams? So the media plays a very big role in that, and not only that, they tend to have us think a particular way about certain group of people, which obviously most of the times is not fair. With the influx of technology and social media, though, almost everything is being videotaped and pictured online. So it does give us the ability to see the trueness in what's going on, but also it does plays a huge role in controlling how we think about certain things in life. So again, with race, ethnicity, gender roles, we all see how this plays out most of the times on TV. Not just on TV, but on the radio station and newspapers and things of that nature. The media also reinforces the viewpoint of the white male and how big of a role that they play in society when it comes to gender roles and gender preferences. As we could see most lately, that even celebrities have used their platform um, to talk about gender roles and how important it is for white male and just male in society to accept women as their equal for equal pay, equal opportunity. So it's a very good big thing for us to understand these different types of groups and different kinds of people. We all need acceptance, and it's important that we do so. All in all, when it comes to race, gender, ethnicity, and sexual morality, we all must be cognizant of the fact that we're all different in our own ways. The most compelling thing that we must share, excuse me, is mutual respect for all. The lens through which we must see to be clear that we can be much closer to the truth, and just seeking the truth gives us that sense of responsibility. Individuality should be freely expressed regardless of what one believes, as long as there's universal respect for others. And creating an environment that allows everyone to be treated respectfully is is a is a great thing, and it should be something that each of us strive to do every day. Again, I want to thank you so much for taking your time out to listen to me today and do the right thing. At the end of the day, we all are sharing this world together. We're all humans, and love conquers all. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.